Hi, today we're going to talk about a common problem with the shoulder joint. This problem is the fact that with the weight from the mass of the arm pulling down from the force of gravity, plus anything we happen to grab and pick up along our day as we go through our motions, pulls that limb away from the center of our body. This small motion of pulling down stretches the fascia away from the body. And today we want to talk about helping it to come back towards the center of the body, making it easier for us to hold the limb into the appropriate place for the optimal anatomic motion. So, to start, let's talk about a little bit of general anatomy. We have the humerus here of the arm, this long bone here from the elbow to the shoulder. Right here in the front is the head of the humerus. It's the little bony outcropping here sticking to the front. Here we have the clavicle going from the shoulder joint to the sternum, also known as the collarbone. And then in the back we have the shoulder blade or scapulae with this arm of bone called the acromion traveling from that shoulder blade extending towards the shoulder joint. These bones come together, forming the shoulder joint that we are going to be addressing today and trying to again bring towards the body, up and in very gently. So, first we're going to start with the humerus. We will take from about 2 inches down a grip along the bone, pressing in, sliding along that bone until we get to that bony outcropping, the head of the humerus. I'm going to put my arm straight out, bend it 90 degrees. I'm going to pull it up and to here, get my feet about a shoulder width apart, bend my knees. While holding this taut, I'm going to take my arm, I'm going to bend it down while maintaining both of these into an internal rotation, just like so. There might be some snapping. That's okay. Just gently working that range of motion. Might have to re-grip at a slightly different spot to get some different aspects of the fascia to pull back towards the center of the body or the torso. After I've done that, I'm going to hold that same part, stretch my arm backwards, turn my head away, maximizing the tension on the fascia, and now holding my feet firmly to the ground so that the legs are activated from the feet all the way to the pelvis, up across towards the shoulders. We want everything involved because all of the myofascia is connected. Holding that spot, arm away, face turned away, I'm going to rotate my entire body holding all of these. Back, forward, and back. And as you might have heard, I did get a little cavitation there as I got a small approximation back into the joint. Now I'm going to slide from approximately the head of the humerus along the collarbone towards the sternum. Again, arm behind, head away, same movement. Again, I'm bringing that fascia along the collarbone towards the center. Now I'm going to go into the back. I'm going to start from just below, like I did earlier, to about the same level as the head of the humerus, but now it's kind of into the divot, right where the acromion of the shoulder blade, the scapulae, meets the top of the head of the humerus. I'm going to reach my arm across my body, so as you can see, it's going across and turn. With this one, I like to do my head both ways because I get different tensions in the back. Then I'm going to slide from that humerus along the spine here of the acromion towards the spine itself, or the vertebrae, pin that, reach across, and turn. Next, I'm going to go along the ribs, now just inside of that shoulder blade. This starts getting a little harder to reach, so it can be difficult if you don't have the flexibility with your upper limbs to actually get any kind of a firm grip on your rhomboids here to pull them towards your spine, but that is one more step of bringing this whole upper limb girdle back in, because the shoulder blade itself is not fixed. So we can bring the entire shoulder blade closer. By doing this, we're taking stretched muscles, bringing them a little closer so that they can come back together over time and be a stronger entity, not like a stretched rubber band, and that's why it's having trouble doing its job and holding everything in place. Instead, the gravity and the mass has been pulling it down, leading us into these hunched positions. So now we're going to pull from the inside of the shoulder blade towards the spine, reach across, and slide by left, right, going down each rib that we can reach, getting the entire rhomboids major and minor muscle from here to here. Or on this side, and again in the back, turning each way gets a slightly different tension on the fascia. And so I like to experiment with different tensions by moving my head, the ends of my limbs, down at my legs, all achieve slightly different tensions because everything is connected. In the front, I can take the fascia from the shoulder joint towards the lower sternum along the pectoral muscles and the front ribs, extending my arm away. Again, turning side to side. Therefore, taking all aspects of this upper limb, bringing it more towards the body, so that over time, as we slowly pull the mold back to its natural, ideal place, all of the musculature can follow and get stronger by being in its proper amount of stretch. What we're trying to achieve is small motions. We're using leverage, the long arc from all the way the tip of our fingers through what we have pinned all the way to the other end. By doing that, we use very little motion to achieve great results over time. This mold that we have formed, it took so long to happen, we can't imagine in a realistic fashion that it's going to overnight come back into place. So we gently keep returning it back into place so that over time it naturally has developed into the proper place.